day, why don't you go ahead and type in the chat there where you're located at, where you're joining us from. All right, hold on just a second here. I got too many browser windows open.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Hey, Dennis.
Hey, Matt. I just clicked on... I just have too many things coming up on my screen right now.
Hey, Justin from Jacksonville. How's it going? Boston, Massachusetts here.
Hey, Jeremy's in Jacksonville.
That's true. Jeremy Deegan, if you're also a Udemy instructor, Justin.
See, I'm waiting for... Evan says he's trying to call in.
All I see is Lisa.
You should be able to hear, if he's in the chat room, he should be able to hear us.
Hey, what's up, Vincent? Thanks for the shout out.
Should be able to call in. Man, got like 23 people in here already.
Yeah, I didn't get the let my subscribers know about this. I might have to exit and come back and maybe.
You did what?
I didn't get the I didn't get a chance to click the button saying notify all my followers about this, so I might have to jump out for a second.
Mine didn't do that either. I'm not going to worry about it. Like last time I had all of those issues.
Is that Millionaire DJ?
Yes.
All right. Vincent,
okay, so he's in here.
There we go.
Hello.
What's going on?
Hey, how's it going, Evan?
Good. How are you?
Good.
You made it.
I made it.
This is your first blab, right?
First blab, yeah. So pretty excited. Very excited to be talking to you guys and talk about this marketing. So.
Yeah, you know what I was going to ask you if your mom was going to watch.
No, I don't think she'll be watching, but we'll definitely.
She can watch the replay.
Yeah. I'm gonna definitely show her that for sure. So.
Yeah. So hey, why don't I go ahead? I'll do the intro and then we'll get started, Matt.
Sounds good. It's gonna be good.
Okay. All right. So welcome everybody to our blab. I'm Dennis Smith, and I am here with my friend and also co-host Matt Bernstein, and we're here with our guest Evan Humber. And we are going to be talking today with Evan on unlocking online revenue and audience growth using Instagram. And I love Instagram myself because I love taking photos, but I struggle on utilizing Instagram for marketing and growing my audience on that platform. Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and those other ones, I usually know what I'm doing there, but Instagram and Snapchat and things like that are kind of, they're not really new to me. It's just something that I haven't used a lot. So I thought that we would bring on our guest today and let him teach us all of the cool things, because I've known Evan for a while, and he's got a lot of great information on Instagram. So we'll go ahead and get started. Matt, you want to do a brief introduction of yourself?
I'm Matt Bernstein. I'm a Udemy instructor, and I also have my own website called skillhants.com, and I started selling on eBay, and that's how I started teaching, because during college I was making a decent amount of money while studying to become a communication major, and I thought people could learn those skills so that they can they can make money online. So happy to be on the show with Dennis and Evan. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me, guys. I'm super pumped. So I don't know if I'll just explain myself a little bit.
Go ahead.
My name's Evan, and I have the online Instagram course, as well as another one that's not to do with marketing. But I just really good with Instagram growth. I built up my account to over 10,000 followers, and then I have like the actual business one that I used for the Udemy course that I have. And also too, I'm getting into some Amazon stuff. So all to do with like online and marketing, and being able to market your product is definitely, a key. And if you don't know how to do that, it's kind of hard to get your product out to the customers. So we'll be able to talk about all this great stuff. And yeah, so.
Awesome. And I'm Dennis Smith. I'm also a Udemy instructor, and I've got a lot of other things that I do along with, I put that link there because I just launched my second book, and it's on Udemy Life, and it talks about people like Matt, myself, and Evan, who are instructors on Udemy, which is, we're not really going to be talking about Udemy today. We're going to be talking about Instagram. But if you're interested in seeing what it's like to teach and earn income, my book gives you a good idea on how to do that. And I just want to let you know a couple of things about Blab, and just let you know that I might have some noise interruptions on my end. I live with family. They're delivering a new bed today, and they might actually have to come into the room where I'm at to get the mattress in. So I'm going to mute myself, and I'll let Matt or if Evan's talking or whatever, I'll just mute myself so you guys won't hear that distraction, hopefully. Blab is a really cool platform, and if this is your first time, or if you're not familiar with it, up above are all the people that are with us today, and thanks for taking time out of your day to join us, and we'll get started here shortly. But I want to give you these tips here. You can connect with the people above if you would like. The hands here at the bottom, those are props for the people that are talking. If you like what we're saying, you can give us props. It's kind of like high fives. Over here to this left side there is a way to, Matt like dropped off. This is like how Blab works sometimes. But over here to the left-hand side is a way that you can share this out on Twitter and Facebook. I would love it if you take a moment here before we get started. And we'll go ahead and get started here in just a moment. And you can click on that and let people know. I was distracted here by something here off to the right-hand side. I'll take a look at that in just a moment. But those are a couple of things about Blabs. And if you want to ask a question, it's /Q, a space, and then your question, and that'll flag it so that we know that the question is there, and we'll try to get to your question. We might not get to all questions. I just want to address something here over there. Let's see. Did I give? This has to do with my website there. It should be secure. It's just probably something that I did with the certificate with my hosting company, because I moved from a shared server to a dedicated server just recently.
Okay.
Yeah, on my end, it's showing that it's verified on my end through Chrome, so we can chat about that a little bit later and see why it's not showing up correctly in other situations. But it is a valid certificate. I'm not sure like why you're getting an error, but let's go ahead and get started. And Evan, why don't you go ahead and explain to those who are listening just briefly what Instagram is?
Yeah, so Instagram, it's a trendy iOS app, but since it was launched back in 2010, I believe, maybe even earlier than that. I know it was acquired by Facebook in 2010, but Instagram is a nice trendy iOS app, basically for photo sharing. But I feel like over the years, Instagram's turned to more like it's great for like growing your brand, and a lot of people are benefiting from that based off of just taking awesome pictures of their content, whether it's a physical product or a digital product. But a lot of people are like using Instagram to not only, grow their brand, but really to market the products that they do have. So that's why I like Instagram, and that's kind of a little bit about it. I mean, a lot of people, I assume, have Instagram and use it. Now, if they use it correctly, that might be a different thing. But we're gonna, that's why we're doing this blog, to give you guys some insight and some good, little golden nuggets that you can take and apply to your Instagram marketing. So,
and Evan, what would you say like would be the typical person on Instagram, or the typical person that you market to?
With me, so I have two accounts. I have one called Noble Hut Co, and that one's at about like 10,300 followers, which is more like based around entrepreneurship and motivation and like in luxury. And then the other one is actually a course that I created specifically around my other Udemy course, which is the music production course. So for that, I normally tend to target people who are into like business and entrepreneurship for the Noble Hut account, and then also for the actual Udemy course account, people who are into like music production and EDM, things like that, because the course is all about that. So those are kind of the target customers that I look for my specific niche or industry, but everybody else is different.
So when you say EDM, you're referring to electronic dance music, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Because some people, you got to remember, I know that you're younger, that some people are going to say, what the heck is EDM?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But no, it's great. And I mean, if you have, let's say you have a product, you can actually make your Instagram account around that one product. Just a matter of, putting great content in there for people to consume and digest and take something from it and kind of just build from there.
Mm-hmm. So what would be a good share on Instagram? Like, what are some of the things that people should think about? Because like myself, I'll just go take random pictures. And I think I was telling you last night that I posted a photo, and that was the first time that I got a lot of engagement on Instagram. So what should people consider?
I think the first thing you want to consider is what you're going for as a brand, because you have your personal brand and then you have your business brand. And when it comes to Instagram, I would suggest trying to keep the two separate. But again, if you're kind of going towards growing up, let's say your personal brand, whether it's, if you're a marketer or, somebody who sells digital products, then I would start targeting people who, are into those type of things on Instagram. And I think later on, we're going to get into like how you can actually target your audience. But there's so many things when it comes to Instagram that you should really consider. And like trying to find your target audience it's not as hard as people think. But like when it comes to actually posting on Instagram, you want to make sure that you're like sticking to a consistent theme, basically. So if you just post random photos, people aren't really going to have a good idea or guideline as to like what your account is about. So it's really important that you state in your bio, as well as based off the content that you post, exactly what you're all about and what you're trying like to push for.
Let's talk a little bit more about the target audience thing now. Like how do you find your target audience, and like what's kind of an example post that you would do yourself, like at least the concept for it, or and then after, like when me and Dennis are talking, like link your Instagram account too, so people can see examples.
Okay, for sure. So to this again, this is my first blab. So to link it, do I just click the send message in the bottom there and just put my Instagram account?
Do like at whatever it is.
Okay, cool.
So I just put the full link, so whatever works.
Okay, sweet. So yeah, when it comes to, let's talk about the first thing, which is target your audience, because everybody wants to know how you can target your audience so you can exactly market to those individuals. So it doesn't matter what niche or industry you're in. Like there's going to be Instagram accounts that are already kind of like within the niche that you're going for. So for an example, with me, my Millionaire DJ account, what I did, I actually went into Instagram and I went to the search bar and I just typed in like music production or EDM. And based off that, there's tons of accounts. So that's what I like to call competition, or those are people that you can actually look into and try and get information from them. So for an example, I would go into these accounts that have, lots of followers, whether it's 100 or whether it's 100,000 followers. And I would see what the followers on that account are saying. So you can do this based off the hashtag search, or you can just literally just type in an account with keywords that are like specific to your niche or industry. Excuse me. So that's what I did. And I was really, really good at this. And I was able to target exactly, the people who are interested in music production. And a really, really cool thing you can do when you're looking at other accounts is you can actually go through the comments and see what people's pain points are. So this is really important, especially when you're coming out with, your Instagram brand or your product. You want to know what the pain points that people are having, so you can fix those and try and persuade them or try and get them to go over to your account. So what I would do, I would see these pain points in the comments, and then I would start farming. So this is a term that I like to use, and I'd suggest that you guys just kind of like put this in a little bullet or something. Farming. So what that basically is you're going through comments of other people's accounts, and you're engaging with these people, and you're picking out the pain points that they're having. So for an example, in my course, I actually show this, but there's an account that was based around FL Studio, which is the software that I teach. Now, I went into this account, and then I went into the post that this account made, and this account had about 12,500 followers, which is a good amount, and it's all niche specific to FL Studio. So I would go on that account, and then I would start browsing through the photos and the different posts that they've made, and then I would go to the comment section, and people would literally just tell me right there, and I would have information based off of what issues they're having. I literally had somebody, they were like, I need to, learn FL Studio. I need help, things like that. So that's a perfect candidate. So that's what farming is. You're going through and you're looking at other accounts that are in your niche, and you're figuring out what the people are saying. And then based off of that, you look at the comments, and you start going to those people who are commenting, and you either follow them or you start liking their content, so they start seeing your account. And that's a good way to engage with them. So again, that's what I like to call farming. And when it comes to actually posting on Instagram, everybody's photos are going to be different, but based off of what I went for, a post that really converts well with me is having a nice photo. And if you guys have a hard time finding nice photos, I would highly suggest using Pinterest. It's really, really good for that. So that's what I would do. I would find a really nice photo on Pinterest, and then I would go into an app that I use, which is called Fonto. And then I would edit the photo, and I would actually put text over that photo, whether it's like a motivational text, or whether it's just a text saying that I have upcoming contest. So those are kind of the actual photos that I specifically use. But again, you can kind of get a good idea as to what people like based off of other accounts, but also too, you want to figure out what you like and what you like to post, because at the end of the day, people on Instagram like transparency. They like to see, who you are and really like what your brand is. So if people see that and they think that your content's compelling, they're not only going to trust your stuff, but they're also going to start liking and engaging with your content much more. So yeah.
Well, people, I'm hearing like feedback in the back. Do you mind? I don't know. Actually, I don't know what it is. I think it might just be Blab. Everybody has their headphones in.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not like scraping here. Am I?
I don't think it's good. Do you mind answering the question? Like, you gained 10,300 followers over the period of what time?
That took me just under a year. It's nothing that will, so some people can build up their account really quick. I didn't do many paid shoutouts. So like, if you do paid shoutouts with large accounts that have, let's say, millions of followers, you can really jack up your following much more quick. But I kind of went the more organic route, and I got in with a lot of these Instagram accounts and a lot of these groups called, there's this one called Group Me, and we would go in and actually do shout out for shout out. So what would happen is, since that these people are, into luxury, into entrepreneurship, things like that, I would shout their account out on my account, and they would do vice versa. And that's kind of how you build up your following that way. But for some of you guys who, let's say you have a good marketing budget, and you really want to explode your following, I would suggest perhaps investing actually into some paid shout outs with large accounts. And you'll get lots of followers that way much quicker. Yes, it does cost money, of course, but that's why mine took a little longer, because I went the more organic way, and I didn't do the paid shout outs. I did shout outs, but they weren't paid ones. So that's kind of how I grew it up over the course of a year to 10,300 followers. I'm actually going to put the name of the account just down here for you guys, so you can check that out.
And people on the side on the comments just wanted me to like stipulate that it's like you're not supposed to do copyright infringement and stuff, but I also want to say like a shitload of people do on Instagram, and like I don't know who but so just like I know Teresa says you can't take anyone's photos and just use them and things like that. So I just wanted to make it a stipulation. Like I'm not here to tell like Evan that he can't do that, but
yeah, that's a good point. I mean, we're not saying that go out there and do that, but Matt is correct that a lot of people are out there sharing, photos left and right on Facebook, social media, and all of that. If you're a business, though, I wouldn't recommend it for a business because you can run into legal issues with that, and even personally, you can. So you want to be very careful what you're sharing. Like myself personally, I like to take my own photos and add a quote or something like that. So we're just letting people know, just be careful with that.
Yeah, for sure. And at any time you do use people's photos, you can actually just say like you can say via and then like have their account there. That way it's pertain to that account, and people know that you're not just taking their photo and uploading it to your account.
List the source too on there, because there are people out there who don't mind people sharing their photos. They put a watermark on it and they want people to see their photos, but you want to make sure that you're citing the source of the photo and letting people know where it came from.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll go ahead and move on with what were you saying there?
In regards to good photos to post?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when it comes to posting good photos, one thing that I would highly suggest is obviously having like clear HD photos. You don't want to have, grainy photos. And also too, when it comes to uploading the photos, you can have, you have the general square dimensions that Instagram gives you, but now they have an option now where it can be a little elongated. And I would recommend trying to keep as much consistency as you can when it comes to posting, not only throughout the day, but also the types of photos you're posting. So some people may like, a white background or a white border around their photo. So if you like that, then every photo you post, you should keep that white background. So it's again, keeping that consistency. That's really important. People really want consistent photos, and they follow you for a reason, because when people are on Instagram, the photos that you're scrolling through, that's like prime real estate. So if you don't have good, compelling photos that are going to draw people in, or at least capture their emotion, then it's going to be hard to get that engagement you want. But there's good ways to get exposure with hashtags and things like that.
Matt, what was the thing you showed there?
Justin Kelsey basically showed this article that basically like a ton of companies when they were startups would do like some and things on like, social media and everything else, and like help them get where they are today. So just in response to the copyright infringement statement, I guess.
Yeah. That's where your audio echoes and then clears up.
Okay, I'll try leaving. It's just raining here. Am I good now?
Yeah, you sound good now. So we've got that link that Justin shared. That is an article that talks about that kind of stuff with some great keywords in there, I guess. All right, so where are we at now here? I'm trying to follow along, but I'm trying to make sure that the noise that's going on outside of where I'm at doesn't come in here. But so
you have the question highlighted in our nice document here. You're up.
Oh, yay! So
go on, Dennis.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like the next question, I have it here, but if you were going to say something, go
No,
right
I
ahead.
was just like one of the things, like, because Instagram, when it started, it was mostly for sharing photos and all of that. And of course, like any social media, it eventually evolves into a marketing tool. So,
Yeah.
and if people don't know that Instagram is owned by Facebook, so what kind of promotions can somebody run on Instagram? Contests, like ads, things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, so there's different there's kind of like three different types of like promotions that you can do on Instagram. So you have the paid advertisements, of course, and that's through Facebook. You set the Instagram ads up through Facebook, and sometimes when you're scrolling through your Instagram feeds, you'll just like see a random photo and you're like, oh, what's this? And then you just look up to the top right and you'll see that it's sponsored. So people are starting to integrate that actually, and I've used some Instagram ads before, and they've worked really well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually was running an Instagram video, so that was really good. But so you have the Facebook ad promotions, and then of course you have the paid shoutouts, and then you have of course just doing shout out for shout out with another account. Now, if you're going to do a paid shout out with another account, that's really good. And then of course you have just your basic shout out for shout out with other accounts. And when it comes to actually like posting with other accounts, you want to make sure that in order to do like a fair shout out for shout out, you want to make sure that you guys are kind of around the same following, because again, it's kind of like a gift basis. You give me, I'll give for you. So if you have an account that, let's say, has 500 followers and you want to do a shout out with an account that, let's say, has 10,000,
Mm-hmm.
that's not really a fair shout out for shout out, just because the person with 10,000 followers, they're not really going to get a ton of exposure since that you only have 500 followers. So you want to keep that in mind. And of course, then the paid shout outs is another great one.
I'd never heard of like paid shout outs before on there, because I'm just starting to use Instagram, more and more each day. So how would you track your results with Instagram? Are there tools to see how effective that is for you?
Yeah, so I use an application called Iconosquare, and this application has really helped me. It tells you exactly when your followers are the most engaged. So when it comes to Instagram, you want to try and, of course, post your accounts or post your photos when your followers are the most engaged, because you want to try and get the more likes, the more comments, and the more reposts, hopefully. But I use it again. It's called Iconosquare, and I would check it out. It's free. They have a paid version, of course, but the free one is really enough. Basically, I like it because, again, it tells me exactly when my followers are the most engaged. And before I actually got Iconosquare, I was noticing that my engagement was better around 7 p.m. I'm on Pacific time, but I noticed it was best around then. And then when I got actually Iconosquare, it told me that between like 7 and 10 p.m. is the best time to post. So I found that really cool. So yeah, that's definitely something really cool to do. And I will link that for you guys, Iconosquare. Check it out. It's a really good tool and application. I'd highly recommend using it for your Instagram analytics. It tells you so much more. It tells you, who your most engaged follower is. It tells you, how many comments you're getting per photo, so much more. So I'm just going to link it right there. You guys can go and check it out. But yeah, I use it. And I would definitely put that in your toolbox when it comes to Instagram resources and tools to use for sure.
Mm-hmm. And that's awesome to be able to kind of like analyze your data more than the stuff that Instagram just gives you on your account. It's cool.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. You want to take advantage of that best time that your followers are engaging, because again, they almost sometimes when you get really consistent, your followers almost expect for you to have a post at such time, because they enjoy your content. So It's good to stay consistent. And another tool that I like to use actually to stay consistent and schedule my posts, it's called Latergram. Now, unfortunately, Instagram, they don't have an open API. So what that means is you guys can't have like a third-party app that directly posts right to Instagram. That would be sweet if they did. But an application that I would suggest that you guys check out, it's called Latergram. And what that allows you to do basically is upload all your content to Latergram, the captions, everything, the photos. And what you do is you actually set a time and a date that you want this photo to be posted. I would highly suggest, guys, if you want to get lots of exposure and really, really grow your account without perhaps maybe investing in paid shout outs, I would suggest at least posting a minimum of 4 times a day. The more posts, you're simply going to get more engagement, more likes, more followers, more reposts. So that's one thing. But just to touch more on Latergram, again, you can literally set what time you want it to notify you. And it simply literally just sends you like a notification, like a text would. And actually, you can set it to go off like an alarm. And then what you do is you just simply go on the application and then you go to Instagram and it will take you over to Instagram and it automatically copies your bio and not your bio, but your caption. So you literally just click paste once you're in Instagram and the photo's there and the caption's there. And then you just have to post it.
And,
hey, I just wanted to say really quick that somebody, it's like, I want to make sure that if you're here to learn, then hey, more power to you. But, if you're questioning things like the size of somebody's Instagram account or whatever, then you're not really here to learn. You're just here to cause issues and take away from other people's time who are here to learn. And 10,000 is actually a rather large Instagram account. I know that because I have email lists, and it doesn't take that many people following you on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter to make a difference in your revenue. $10,000 can make a huge impact on a small business. Now, if you're like a Ford or if you're a T-Mobile or something like that, then no, 10,000 is not going to be a large amount of followers. But if you're an entrepreneur, you're an author, a Udemy instructor like Matt or myself, then yeah, 10,000 is a lot of people following you. So that's what I wanted to add. So.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, there's much larger accounts. I'm not the biggest, fish out there for sure, but 10,000 followers for sure has given me, good exposure. And two, it's a good amount to actually market people if you have a digital product. I came out with an ebook, so that was really good to market to those individuals. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, thanks, Dennis, for saying that. And like, Evan, like 10,000 followers is awesome. And like, I mean, sorry that like that dude or woman or whatever is like, I don't know, like trolling. I try booting them. I don't know if they're booted because they're just like being very rude and like, I don't know. I think you're giving good information and not just steal from Pinterest, So
no, that's definitely not.
So if you can boot them, Dennis, I don't know if I can, but I don't know. It's not really democracy in here. If you like the information, you could stay. If not, you're getting booted.
If you don't, if you don't like the information. If you're just going to be negative, negative vibes aren't good. So
no,
if you're going to be negative, just get out.
Yeah, we're here to share information. We're not telling people to steal other people's photos or whatever. We've already covered that we said that, there are certain things that you need to look into. I recommended that you share your own photos because I love sharing my own photos. Take some quotes or something like that, and as long as you're putting who quote, because that stuff is shared, like Jim Rome is famous for quotes, and they're shared all over the place. But as long as you're putting that it's Jim Rome and you're not putting it out there and saying it's your own, then you're okay with that kind of stuff. But it's up to you to learn that kind of stuff. We're not here to teach people how to become copyright experts because there's a lot involved with that. We're just saying, learn that, be cautious. So, all right, let's go ahead and continue on.
Well, Justin asked, would you say $1 per 1,000 followers is an accurate cost for like a shout out or paid shout out that you're talking about?
$1 for a shout out to 1,000 people.
That was the question.
Yeah.
$1. No, that's that. I don't think that's a reasonable price. I think people would charge a little bit more for if they had 1,000 followers. But I personally haven't ever come across like a $1 shout out. People like to charge at least $10. People's shout outs vary. Again, it depends on how much engagement that account gets and things like that. There's some I've paid for shout outs, I've paid almost like $500 for. But these accounts, guys, will have like millions of followers, which have a really good engagement rate. I'm talking like, over 200 comments and tens of thousands of likes. So that's really what you want to look for if you are going to invest into paid shout outs. But $1, I don't think that's feasible enough for somebody to charge. I don't think anybody would really be up for that. But that's just personally from my experience. But some people may be up for that.
Well, how much the $500 one? How many followers did that person have?
That one had over 1 million followers. So that's it was, in my opinion, it was worth it. Got lots of followers and lots of good people who actually engage with me and things like that. So that's kind of why I felt it was worth it. But everybody's different. So it depends, of course, too, on your budget and things like that. But again, another good alternative, guys, is trying to get into some of these groups, or even, Instagram now has this really good option in the top right. There's these 3 dots if you have the new Instagram update. And it just allows you to simply just click those 3 dots, and then you can go to send message. Before, I found on Instagram, it was this confusing thing when you wanted to direct message somebody, and it was hard to navigate, but they've updated the platform, and it's much easier now. So don't be afraid, guys, to, if your, niche is, if it's selling digital products or if it's your own personal brand, brands don't necessarily have to be like a physical or digital product. It can be like a really good quotes page, or whether, you're a photographer and you teach people how to take different angles or things like that. You can, based off of the hashtag option, like we touched on before, to target your audience, you can go to these people who are, again, within your niche, and you can just reach out to them personally and, send them a genuine message and say, would you be interested in doing a shout out for shout out? I feel it both benefit us, things like that. So don't be afraid to ask people. It's amazing what you can get if you just ask. So just have some, confidence in yourself, and just go ask these individuals if they'd be interested in doing a shout out, because, it not only benefits you, but it's going to benefit them as well. So, yeah.
I was just looking at some stuff over in the comment there. I just don't get people sometimes making threats and stuff like that. I'm not sure if other people saw the threat come across the screen there about banning the individual. It's just like, if you come in to a group like this or discussion and you're just here to be negative and cause issues, then you've got bigger problems with your life. And I'm not going to be scared by some kind of threat or whatever regarding my websites or whatever, because it's something that's documented. Other people probably saw it or whatever. And it's like, if you're going to threaten me, it's like, I'm going to give it right back.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're getting famous, guys. Huh? We got a troll. I feel like this is...
Yeah, it's like, what does that person like have nothing better to do in their life than to come in the chat room just because? I mean, it's not like we're disagreeing with them or whatever. It's just they have nothing better to do than post negative comments. So it's like, we don't want them here. We want to talk.
Yeah, I agree. So did you have anything to say, Evan, or can we? We'll just move along, and I'll ask you the next question, or do you want to?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So basically, like, I tried doing Instagram like my first time, like a month ago, let's just say. And I tried it for a week, and I was doing like 4 posts a day, some of the things that you were saying, and I was gaining like 20 followers a day. But then like I'd lose 10 by the next day. And like when I stopped posts, I just did it as like a week experiment. when I like stopped posting, I'd lost like 70% of my followers within like the first week. Can you maybe like explain why that stuff kind of happened to me? Or
yeah, I mean, followers can be weird. You know, some people might just come across your photos in the explore page and they might accidentally follow you by accident, and they're like, oh, I didn't mean to follow this guy. But for an example, if you lose followers, you know, sometimes you don't know the exact reason. But again, trying to stay consistent in taking advantage of using your hashtags is really important. And actually, Matt, before I came onto here, I checked out your Instagram account, and I like, you know, there's some really cool things that you have on there. One thing that all of you guys one thing I want you guys to take from this is, when it comes to having like a good Instagram bio, it's really important that you state the theme. So exactly what the Instagram account is and what you're going to talk about and what you're going to be posting. Because when people come across your Instagram account, yes, they may see your photos first, but 9 times out of 10, people are going to see your bio. So it's really important that you include exactly your theme and what your purpose is for that Instagram account. And in a way that I really like to structure my bio is having bullets. And I talk more about this, how you can make these bullets in my course. But just a quick tip is you can go into your notes section and you literally would type in your bio, and then you just click enter or return, because within Instagram, it doesn't allow you to do that. So when you go to post, it doesn't have these nice bullet points like you would if you were to do it in like a Word document or something like that. But again, Matt, just to touch on trying to gain more followers and things like that. Farming. So like we talked about earlier, farming is really, really good. You know, yes, it does take time to, you know, read through comments and like people's photos and comment. But when people see that you care and that you're going to, you know, go the extra mile to engage with their content or just comment, whether it's something that's like nice, just like a nice, simple comment, like a one-worded comment, things like that, is a really good added touch, especially if you have like a good brand or you're offering something. Because again, when people see that transparency and that you're there to not only help them, but to educate them along the way, they'll see that very clearly and have a better understanding as to who you are as a person, and they'll more likely stay with you as a follower. So
doing your homework a little bit about my Instagram account. Well, thanks.
Yeah, no worries, man. And Instagram, you know, we're as people who post on Instagram and use Instagram, it's kind of always changing, because they've actually recently changed the algorithm of Instagram. I don't know if you guys know this, but since that Instagram, is acquired by Facebook's algorithm, I don't know it as much as I do Instagram's, but before, what Instagram's algorithm is you would just have relevant content that you follow, but now it's basically things that you enjoy. So I don't know if you notice when you're on Facebook, you might click off a link and then you go back to your feed, and then based off that link, there's something in your feed that's kind of related to that link you clicked. So with Instagram, if you have accounts that you engage with more, or let's say you have accounts that that you follow and engage with, those are the accounts that are actually going to come up more in your news feed. So turning on push notifications is a good idea as well. But that's kind of the algorithm Instagram now has. It's basically they detect what your interests are, and they kind of estimate or have some sort of like fancy algorithm. I'm not good with that stuff myself, but they have like a fancy algorithm, and they'll basically put content in front of your eyes that they think you're interested in. So it's good now if you're somebody who, people are really starting to like your content, things like that, then you will be the person who will be showing up in their Instagram feed.
So basically, like you're talking about, to grow your audience, you're talking about farming, and that could take a little bit of time. Is there a way that you can find and keep and you're getting the right followers for your account? Like, is there a way to make sure you're getting the right followers for your account?
Yeah, for sure. So again, it's kind of figuring out exactly your target audience. So going to those accounts that already have a large following, and you can literally just follow all these people, because they are potential customers. If 9 times out of 10, if they're interested in, let's say, I don't know, bubblegum, and then you're the new like bubblegum guy or whatever, then you since that account might have like 50K followers and you're just starting out, but since that it's within that niche in that industry, people will be more likely to follow you if you were just like some random account that had nothing to do with like bubblegum. So it's really important that you try and find accounts that are within your niche, so you can start seeing those customers and what they have to say, because those people who are following those accounts that are, again, pertaining to your niche or industry, those followers will be interested in your content. It's just a matter of them seeing it and, you engaging with them. So, yeah.
I'm on mute only because there's still some noise and also trying to block things out. So it takes a moment for me I'm multitasking. That's one of the things, like I'm sending a message to Blab about this individual making threats and trying to figure out like what they can do, and then listening to you so I know what to ask next. So I'm not good at multitasking today, so if I'm a little bit scatterbrained, I certainly apologize. So, hey, once you have those followers, and I have many followers, and for a long time I struggled with converting those followers to buyers for my books and my courses and stuff like that. I am having more success now with my book and my latest course because I've got tools that I've learned over the years. What would you suggest?
So what I would suggest, is so you want to offer exclusive Instagram content, and you want to run also contests that your followers can see, or your following, because call there. If you guys have a following other than Instagram, it's really good to try and drive traffic to your Instagram account. So let's say you have a good following on, Snapchat or YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, what have you. You can either tell those people that you're running an exclusive Instagram deal or offer, and that's going to, funnel those people over to your Instagram account. That's something that I found has worked really well for me, is just offering exclusive Instagram content that just your followers can have access to. So that's one thing. And you want also to run Instagram contests. So for an example, let's say you had like an ebook or like some sort of like PDF, that was really interested for like somebody who was interested in marketing, and you had like, a really nice PDF made up of some like good marketing resources or something like that. That can be a tool that you can use to say, hey guys, if you want this, really awesome, resource, you can tell people, okay, this is the Instagram contest. So you could say something like tag 3 friends, or, like 3 photos, or comment. So again, if you have this contest that you're running, and for an example, if you have in the bio, in the caption, if you have something that's like tag 3 friends, those 3 friends from that person from that follower, who tagged those 3 friends, they are going to see exactly your account. So then they can either follow you, participate in the contest, or just, obviously not participate. But I would highly suggest trying to have also call to action. So a call to action is like buy now, click link in bio, things like that. If you have a call to action and you're telling somebody to do something, you'd be very surprised as to how many more results you'll get if you just simply tell somebody to do an action. It automatically kind of like resonates in your mind, like, oh, like, I should do this or something like that. And you also want to create urgency. Urgency is really important. You want people to think that, like, if you don't get this now, you're missing out. And if you really push that onto people, that they're missing out on, the content that you're pushing out there, then they'll be even more likely to buy, because again, you're creating that urgency, and people don't want to feel left out. So like, if you are offering this amazing product, and you're saying, you know, it's limited and things like that, people are going to want to be a part of that. So that's another great way to convert your followers into paying customers is really offering exclusive Instagram content as well as Instagram contests. There's no like, you know, you press this button and you're going to automatically convert your followers to paying customers. You have to work them in there. But one tactic that I like to use is now this term I'm going to use, don't take it the wrong way, but it's a term that I picked up over a really good marketer, and it's called the drug dealer marketing strategy. Now, don't take this wrong. Let me explain. But what I mean by that is, so with any type of content you're putting out there, you want to have value, okay? You want to have value, and you want to create compelling pictures that are going to trigger people's emotion. If you can trigger emotion, you're gold. So if you give people valuable content for free, they're going to trust you, and they're going to once they, you know, see value in the content that you're putting out for free, they're going to trust you more. So you get them addicted to your content. You know, you're starting to post consistently. You're starting to engage with your followers and putting out really good content for free, and then you sell them a little bit. So that's what you want to do. You want to give them free content, give them a little, just so they're excited and they're trusting your brand, and then you plop in there, you know, okay, if you want to, you know, really take the next step, or if you want to, you know, better whatever niche or whatever industry you're in, you can say, you know what, if you want, then I would highly suggest that you know, take the next step and take your course or buy your ebook or whatever you're promoting. But that's one thing that I really like to do is giving free content, and then you put in there paid content. So you're really selling the what in the why, but then you put in there the how. So that's one thing that I found very effective. So I would definitely suggest putting that into your toolbox. So give people free content, add value to the content you're putting in, and then eventually sell the how. If that makes sense.
Yeah, great points. And Teresa, our guest from last week, she has a question about what suggestions would you have to someone who has never had an Instagram account because she's getting a smartphone this week? What are some important things that she should do, obviously, besides signing up?
Well, I would suggest having a few applications downloaded for just to make your Instagram, you know, pictures better and things like that. But for somebody, I think, so sourdough. So I believe Teresa, she's the girl who's really good with the baking and stuff, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So
she gave you some props for that too.
I love sourdough bread. There's I'm sure you've guys have eaten at a restaurant called The Keg, and they have great sourdough bread. So, you know, if I can learn how to make sourdough bread, well, that's really good. But Teresa, but Teresa, for somebody, you know, who's just getting a smartphone and doesn't have an Instagram account, once you sign up, I would suggest going on Instagram and searching for baking Instagram accounts. And I can guarantee you that there's going to be lots of accounts that are pertaining to baking, whether it's bread or cupcakes or cakes or something like that. I would start getting familiar with what people are posting, just so it gives you a good idea as to what you can do and kind of add your own little spin or twist to it. Because when it comes to Instagram, you want to try and make yourself a little different. So if you can get good ideas and get inspired by other accounts, then you can take a little bit of that information in your knowledge, because of course you're the expert. Nobody's expert as much as you in that department. So what I would suggest doing, number one, is just getting better ideas as to what people are saying based off of other Instagram accounts that are based around baking. So I would start searching up like baking on Instagram or like bread or something like that. And there might be accounts that have millions of followers that are just literally based around baking. So that's what I would suggest doing, is just getting a good understanding as to what people are posting. Because again, if you're brand new, you want to have a good idea and just kind of like somewheres that you can just like have a good idea. So you just like hit the ground running and you start putting out content there that people will really like. And Teresa, I've actually seen some of your videos and things like that, and you have really good like close-up pictures of the bread and things like that, and that those are the types of pictures and things like that that I would include on your Instagram account. Of course, too, a little bit about who you are and things like that. So that's what I would do. First off, somebody who doesn't really know what Instagram, if they don't have like an Instagram account or things like that, I would suggest looking at other accounts just to give you a good idea and just to start to get familiar with the type of content that you should be posting on your account.
Okay, so kind of like our next question, as well as it goes to Diego's question as well. Yep. Okay, so he's saying, is it possible to have more than one account on a single smartphone? And and I guess like, should you have a business and a personal account? So that would obviously be 2 accounts, maybe on one smartphone, which is what I do.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys had the new Instagram update, but it's really, really helped me. I have a total of 4 Instagram accounts, and with the new update, you're you're actually able to add up to 5 Instagram accounts. So this is really, really convenient. Before you had to log out, remember your password, remember your username for multiple accounts, and it just took a lot of time. But the new update is really, really convenient, and you literally just switch between accounts, which ones you want within that one app, so you don't have to like log out like you did before. So that's to answer the first question as far as having more than one account on your Instagram account. Or sorry, one, so sorry guys, but so number 2 is having your business and your personal separate. So that's something that I would suggest doing, but it depends on what your business is. If your business is consulting, well, that's your business right there. So I wouldn't suggest necessarily having a Instagram account that is specifically just like, I don't really know of what content you could post if you were a consultant just based off of like a business Instagram account. But once you like build up your personal Instagram account and things like that, I feel like you would have a good idea in some sort of understanding as to what you could do to actually create a second Instagram account around that niche or industry. So, if you are into consulting, you could create some sort of Instagram account around consulting, and then you can, obviously include what your services are and things like that within your bio. And then you can start perhaps maybe reaching out to other businesses, again, by farming, which is liking, commenting, following, things like that. It's a good idea definitely to keep your business separate from your personal. So that's something that I would highly suggest you guys do for sure.
I want to put up the next question on there, and then I'll answer, or we'll ask it here in just a moment. I wanted to know, because I use WordPress a lot, maybe is there a way to share an Instagram, like embed the Instagram photo into a website? Is there a plugin for WordPress that you know of?
I'm in the process of building up a WordPress website, but I know that you can actually have live Instagram feeds, within your website. So that's something that I plan on including, because it's a really good added touch to your website, and also it's almost like shadowing out your Instagram account without directly doing it. So as people are going on your website and they see your Instagram account, first of all, they're going to know that you have one. And then it's going to trigger them either to go follow you or go to your account at least right then and there, or at least to come back and go to it. So, that's something you can definitely do is integrate your live Instagram feed within your actual website. And depending on your website, this can look really, really well. That's something that I would definitely consider doing for sure.
Okay. And Forrest has a question. Did we answer that one? Is there a way to post Instagram photos from the desktop? I don't think there is.
No, again, you can use, there's more than one application other than Latergram. That's the one that I personally use. I know there's a few that you can actually, you can't post directly to Instagram, but I know it's kind of the same concept where you upload your content to the desktop, and then I believe it takes you, directs you to Instagram in some way. I only know how to use Latergram, so I don't know other than that application how to kind of like go to Instagram from your desktop. But that's something that I can definitely.
I can answer that question actually. So
okay,
when I was posting, I was using Hootsuite. You can use the free edition of Hootsuite, and you can link up 3 social media accounts. So LinkedIn was one of them, and you can very easily add in the text on your desktop, and then upload the picture, the image to Hootsuite. And then you can basically, using Hootsuite, you can download the app on your smartphone, and you can push the post to Hootsuite on your smartphone. And then all you have to do is basically click a few buttons from there, and it automatically takes the content that you made from your desktop, and you just push a few buttons basically, and it kind of streamlines it from there. So it takes 10 seconds on your smartphone, and you do most of the work on your desktop.
That's cool. Yeah, that's as I was kind of talking about not knowing exactly how to do that. That's something that I thought it'd do is if it were to go to the desktop, it'd have to kind of go to an app, because you can't post from the desktop if you log into Instagram. So that's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. So maybe I taught you a little something today.
Yeah, for sure. That's I heard Hootsuite, but I didn't investigate it. But that's something that I can definitely consider now for sure. So thanks.
Makes it easier, and it. Dennis, you want to ask the next question, or should I?
Go for it, because I'm checking out some of this stuff, and Diego's got a question, so you can go ahead and ask that, and then we'll answer Diego's question too.
Okay, so this basically, we've touched upon a little bit about Hootsuite and Latergram, but maybe we shouldn't even have asked this question. But how can someone plan and organize and schedule their Instagram posts ahead of time so they can stay consistent?
Yeah, for sure. One thing that I really think is important, again, is consistency. So if you know what you're posting and when you're posting, it's going to be a less headache for you to think, oh, what am I going to post? Because again, when you're posting your Instagram content, you want to make sure that your bio that your caption, I keep getting too mixed up, but you want to make sure that your caption is of good quality, and that it's written well. So consistency in organization is really important. And one thing I included in my course is a content calendar. So you have your month, and then you have your calendar, and this is really where you can plan out day by day exactly what type of posts you're going to be posting. Because of course, you have posts, whether you're going to be promoting something, then you have content that you're just putting out that's with free information. But to have a good content ratio, that's something that's important too, because if you do, excuse me, guys, if you do get into shouting people out in marketing different products that you want to have a good content ratio, because you don't want to be doing all these promoting, because if people know that all you're doing is promoting them and they're not getting any value other than maybe a cool picture and then your caption with what you're promoting, you're not going to see the engagement in your followers go up. So you want to have a really nice content ratio. And that's something I get really in depth in my course. But to actually stay organized and things like that, guys, using Latergram is a really cool idea, but just having a good idea as to what day of the week it is, and just understanding, okay, if you want to get 4 posts out per day, you want to make sure that they're at least spaced out an hour or 2, and then you want to make sure that you obviously have your captions and your call to actions or whatever already made. So if you don't have Latergram, or if you don't want to use Latergram, even guys, just having all this uploaded in Evernote or a Word document, you simply just have to copy and paste it. Even your notes section on your iPhone, that's something that I do all the time. And I actually like doing my captions in my notes, because you can have sentence fragments and have your captions look really well. Because sometimes if you have this huge caption and it's not broken up nice, it might be hard for your followers to read. And Instagram's all about scrolling. So you want it to be all about your customer and try and make it as easy for them to read. But again, to try and stay organized, guys, just have everything planned out and have a clear idea as to what you want to put out there. And I feel like once you think about it subconsciously, it's going to be running in your mind, and then you're going to realize, okay, well, if I want to get good content and good engagement, let's start really planning out what content I'm going to post and when. So, again, putting in your notes or using Latergram, that's honestly what I would suggest using, as well as having a content calendar just to stay consistent. And that way you're seeing it every day and you know what's coming up and things to prepare for. So that's what I would suggest that you guys do, to stay consistent and stay on a posting schedule.
Awesome. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So we're almost ready to wrap up here. So I know that you have a course that you release on Instagram, and one of the reasons why I wanted to have you is because I had been talking to you as you developed that course and helped you out, with some of the questions that you had regarding Udemy. So what are some of the things that our listeners can learn by taking the course that you've released on Instagram?
Yeah, so some of the things we talk about is how to capture an email address without actually having like a landing page or like a website. So that's one thing, as well as, I show you guys step by step how to create, high compelling photos, high converting photos, things like that, as well as like step by step examples on how to create good Instagram contests. I have over like 50 resources that I've personally used and that you guys can use as well. And, we talk about best times to post, different applications to use and why you should use them. How to build relationships with your Instagram followers, learn how to, convert those followers into paying customers. Also too, I talk about, having specific accounts based off of, your niche or industry. And then based off of that, how to target those followers. So we cover lots in the course, and, it's really, really helpful for people, who are new to Instagram or somebody who, even if you're a Udemy instructor or somebody like that who wants to, get their course out there or get more, interaction with their brand.
Mm-hmm. So, hey, I posted the link, but what's the coupon code that if someone's interested in taking your course, what is the code that they need to put in on Udemy when they go to the link?
Let me check. It's MMO50.
Okay, so that's Make Money Online 50, and that'll get you 50% off. You just click on the link that's there, or you can just look up Evan, and it's Humber, and you can look him up on udemy.com, put in that coupon code, and that'll save you 50% off on his Instagram course there. I call that little logo that you see there Instagram Man. So yeah. So hey,
Evan,
last question.
Can you type in the coupon code in the live chat over there to the right?
Yeah. Do I just post the coupon code right into the live chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
Or you could just, do the link too. Depends on what you want to do.
Yeah, I'll just do the whole link. There we go.
Awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, that's Instagram Man. I like that name.
Instagram Man. So, Kate did we get Kate's question there? Capture emails without a lead page? Oh, so
no.
She just wants to.
Yeah.
We got that.
Do you see that? Do you see that, Evan? Capture emails without a lead page.
Yes. So what I use for that, it's called expert texting. So SMS marketing is something that a lot of companies are starting to use now. I don't know if you guys are ever on your phone and you get a random, text message and you're like, what is this? That's SMS marketing. And what that is, guys, is basically you have a short code. And the short code is a code that expert texting will give you. And then you create a relevant keyword to go with that short code. And the short code is actually the number that you text with this specific keyword you choose. So what I did, I used the keyword VIP music. So what you would do, guys, is let's say you had, this doesn't necessarily pertain to Instagram. You can use this SMS marketing anywheres, on your Facebook account, on your YouTube account, on your Snapchat if you want, anywhere. So what you do is you would basically have the short code, which is the number, and then you have the keyword that would go along with it. So let's say you are running, let's say you had a email opt-in, and guys, I don't know if you guys know this, but having, a good email address is really important. If you have a good amount of email subscriptions, when you go to promote to these people, the conversions is 9 times out of 10 much better and much higher. So trying to build your list is important. And to do that, what you can do is, let's say you had like an ebook or something like that, and you didn't, want to have, like a landing page or something like that. What you can do, guys, is you tell somebody to text that number and that keyword. And what will happen is when they text it, they will get an automatic text response that is all generated and automated through expert texting. And what it will actually do is send a welcome message right to them. And it will say, welcome to whatever you're promoting. Please give me your name. And then once they give you your name, then another text will go through and you can say, okay, well, could you please give me now your email address so you can have access to something like this? And then they give you their email address. And then another text would go through and say, thank you, things like that. Please check your email. And then they go to their email and get, the ebook or whatever you're promoting. So it's a good way to, capture an email address without having, if you're not good with WordPress or getting landing pages or things like that, it's a good alternative. So I would suggest doing that. That's one thing that we talked about in the course as well. So, if you guys live in the States or things like that, then it's a great option to capture email addresses. So.
Great. And did we get Forrest his question there on any shot for mass migration of images advice before we go?
Sorry?
Forrest had a question on mass migration of images advice. I'm not sure what he means by that.
Mass immigration. Yeah, I'm not too sure what you mean by that, Forrest.
I think.
So, does he mean like having?
He said, look in the question box. So SMS Marketing short code with relevant keyword. What was the program you use?
It's called expert texting. He says here. Okay, so you want to move images to Instagram. You know what? When it comes to uploading photos to Instagram, the only way that I know of is just individually doing it. I don't think there's a software that you can, say, okay, I have all these photos here, let's transfer them to Instagram. I think you have to actually input them yourself. That'd be awesome though if there was something that you could just, click a button and all these photos go onto your Instagram. But again, one thing you want to consider too is each time you do an Instagram post, you're going to have, your hashtags and you're going to have your specific captions that go with that post. So that's one thing to consider. But I don't think there's software that allows you to just mass migrate images into Instagram.
Okay. So did we get the SMS question there answered? I think you did, right?
Yeah. Yes. So the company is called Expert Texting. And you can go over the website and sign up and everything like that. And it's a really good tool. So I definitely, highly suggest that you guys go at least and check out Expert Texting. So
yeah,
they've really good support and everything.
Yeah. She wants to know, are they going to update in the future and make Instagram like Facebook top post for your views? I think they've already made some changes on the algorithm.
Yeah, they did. So what's going to happen with the algorithm? Basically, Instagram is going to put content in front of your eyes that they think you are like, that you like and that you engage with. So I know just from accounts that I engage with and things like that, those are normally the accounts that I see first are the ones that I personally engage with. So the algorithm has changed a bit. But again, it's good on the other end for somebody who has like a service or they're promoting something, because once people, again, start seeing value in your content and they start liking your photos more, then your account is going to come up, first before something else. So
yeah,
it's a really good change in my opinion, but some people may think otherwise.
Justin says, do you know the best way to upload video to Instagram that you download on your computer? I don't think that you can upload video into Instagram, right?
No, you can.
You can?
Instagram, wow. Yep. Instagram videos, guys, they get more engagement. They get less likes, but they're going to get more comments and more reposts. So Instagram videos are really, really good. way to capture people's emotion. Because guys, when you're on Instagram, you have a very, very short time to grab somebody's attention, but visuals process 60 times faster than text. So Instagram is really helpful, because if you're going to get across something, it's better to get it across in a picture format, because it's going to resonate with us much quicker, and we're going to understand exactly what's going on and what this person is offering. So having a video is really good. And actually Instagram has changed how long you can have videos for. So before it was only 15 seconds. So, that's, not short. It's not long either, but they've actually changed it to, I think it's like 90 seconds or something like that. So that's really awesome. You can have much longer videos now.
Yeah.
And just to answer your question, as far as posting that on Instagram, if you have it saved to your computer, just make sure you export it in like HD 720p format, and then you just post it from your phone up to Instagram. So videos are a really, really good tool as well, guys. Put that in your toolbox. I would highly suggest using videos. So you can definitely put videos into your Instagram marketing as well.
So it has to be somewhere where you can, like where it's stored, that you can bring it into your mobile device and upload it into Instagram. You can't go to like Instagram.com and upload any of that. I wish they would do that on the desktop. It just makes it easier sometimes, but there are ways to do that.
Yeah, and in Instagram, like they don't, like on the desktop version, you can sign into your Instagram account and do some things and edit your bio. That's actually another place you can edit your bio, is on the desktop version. But as far as when it comes to posting and things like that, you can't do any of that on the desktop version, other than look at people who you're following. And I think you can like their photos, but I don't think you can do much more than that. So.
Yeah, somebody had mentioned Wowza.com, and I'm looking at it, and it looks like that they're a service to upload video to any device. So you might want to check that out if you're interested in stuff like that. And somebody mentioned Zapier, which is a way to connect all of these different sites and things like that. I have only briefly touched Zapier, and that's because I use a product called ConvertKit that connects with WordPress, but they have their own connection now, so I don't mess with Zapier, but that's something people can check into. I think that we're about 15 minutes after the hour there, so probably going to wrap up here shortly. Matt, did you have anything to add?
I mean, the only thing, are we doing like final last words or more questions for Evan? I think ultimately, like, I do these blabs because I want to learn, as we're making content. So, I mean, a lot of great stuff, Evan, today, and you definitely taught me more about Instagram marketing and how I can use it to grow my own business, which is really awesome. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Awesome.
I appreciate it. And it looks like things have calmed down from earlier in the blab, but we certainly appreciate the audience participation with the questions. And I mean, at times we like to bring people on live and ask their questions with blab, but these things can go on and on and on. I've been in blabs that were a couple of hours long, so I always like to keep it like no longer than an hour and 15 minutes, so that I can go on with the rest of my day, which has me busy until like late at night tonight. So any last minute thoughts or words of advice for those that are listening before we go?
Evan, do you have any last words?
Oh, me? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
I thought something happened there. It was like, dun-dun-dun-dun.
Sorry, guys. No, I want to, thank you, of course, for having me and things like that. And I appreciate, the really nice feedback and some comments that I see on the side there. It's really awesome. And I'm definitely glad to, be sharing with you guys some of the marketing techniques and tactics that I've used to build up, my accounts to over 10,000 followers. And one thing that I think that you guys should take away from this is, you're the expert in your industry or niche. So always try and have something different and offer something different and try and create a brand for yourself. So try and like watermark all your photos as well, because when you create a brand for yourself too, people are going to obviously take your account much more serious too. So that's one thing I would consider, and just be transparent with people and be you. That's important. Be you. Don't try and be something fake. Try and be you and give people real information and don't sugarcoat things. So that's another thing that I would really try and emphasize and put on people is you're the expert, and try and just add something different to your Instagram photos in the content that you're putting out there.
Cool. Somebody asked where to find you on Udemy. That link there, if you're still seeing it with the Instagram, Matt actually just posted a link right to his course, so that will take you right to finding him on Udemy. So yeah, I think we're ready to wrap it up, and I wanted to thank everybody for taking time out of their day and joining us, and let you know that Matt and I do this every week at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, and a few really exciting opportunity to interview Chris Greenwood, who I got to meet when I did some consulting with him. He's also in Canada, up in Toronto, and he's a musician who tours here in the US and Canada, but he's got Udemy courses on helping musicians promote themselves on social media. Wow. And he earns, like, his Udemy courses several $1,000s a month. So he's somebody who's making money online. I want to let those people who are listening know that if you're making money online and you think that you would be a guest that that would have some great information to share with others, then definitely let Matt or I know. You can right here, the social media DJS, that's my Twitter, and that's Matt's Twitter right there. You can contact us on Twitter. You can find us on Udemy. Matt will give you his website in just a moment. I'm at DennisJSmith.com. And if you go to DennisJSmith.com/get Udemy Life, you can get my new book, and it talks about Matt, myself, and instructors like Phil Ebener, who's making $10,000 or more a month on Udemy. So check that out. Matt, where can we find you online?
I'm on skillhance.com, and if you do skillhance.com/blog, you can access all of the other blabs that we've done. And for next week, we have the amazing Mark Timberlake on. So April 14th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Pacific Time. So if you want to learn more about teaching on Udemy or digital marketing strategies, things of that nature, you can go on skillhance.com and learn more.
Great, thanks. So make sure that you join us next Thursday. I don't think we have our guests lined up for next Thursday. Chris is the following Thursday. But
I just said Mark Timberlake, remember?
Oh, that's right. See, I'm the blonde one. All right, thanks, Matt. That's why I have Matt here to help me out in my senior days. Okay, that's it, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Have a great morning, afternoon, wherever you're at, and take care. Bye.
Thanks for coming on, Evan. Keep in touch. I'm really glad you came on.
Thank you for having me, guys. And again, thanks for everybody, who's been, positive comments and things like that. So it's been really awesome first experience. And maybe in the future, you guys will see me on here. But in the meantime, Dennis and Matt will be here to entertain you guys. So
great. Thanks, everyone.